Well, it's finally happened. Well, I say finally. I mean, the Switch has been out since March 3rd, 2017, so a little over a year. But regardless, at least as of yesterday, a seemingly unpatchable exploit has been found in the Tegra boot ROM. Now, I'll try not to bog down this video too much with a bunch of technical jargon. This video is meant to be more from the angle of a relatively average consumer who might be also interested in unlocking devices to run homebrew or emulators. Maybe you've had a modded PSP, or you've used flash carts in old Game Boys like the Nintendo DS, maybe even used a flash cart in the 3DS, a subject which you can hear more of my thoughts on by clicking up here. But back on track. The current exploit leaves almost every Switch out right now vulnerable. All 14.8 million currently in circulation. I do not envy Nintendo executives right now, because apparently this is an issue that just can't be simply patched by an over-the-air firmware update. The nature of this exploit is pretty heavily hardware-based, requiring a jumper to short some pins on the right Joy-Con connector. This basically forces the Tegra X1 into a USB recovery mode. And yada yada yada, fast forward a little bit, this allows you to run arbitrary code on the device. Needless to say, this is nothing I'd advise or publicly endorse. And not just for ethical reasons, but just for pure risk. Lots of the voltages in the Switch are controlled via software, so that means if you're running data that isn't just right, code that isn't just right, you can irreversibly damage and brick your Switch. This isn't something I'd even consider doing myself, if ever. Now, I know the Switch has some glaring issues right now, especially concerning game saves. They should really be stored on Nintendo's servers for backup. But as I'm recording this on April 24th, 2018, there's no such service or option available. Now, this brings me to my main opinion on this exploit, especially so early in its infancy. I'm gonna wait for now. I'm gonna wait for now to see how things go once Nintendo's new subscription service pans out. Even wait and see what the Virtual Console will be like eventually. Basically, 2018 should be a pretty substantial leap forward for this platform. So as of now, I think I'm probably going to wait at least another year, see what Nintendo does with the Switch before I even consider tinkering with it. You know, perhaps I'd be singing a different tune if the games already available weren't so great. You know, the games are great enough to stave off my usual hunger for hacking my devices and loading homebrew and emulators onto them. Oh, and by the way, Nintendo, please give us Netflix, YouTube, and a web browser. Like, soon. I know the Switch is relatively young in its console run, but seriously, these things and more should have been available at launch. Again, you're lucky your launch titles were so good that they kept us satisfied. But that was probably your point. But still. So, what do you guys think about all of this? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, you know what to do, but it'd be really cool if you'd consider subscribing to the podcast of my radio show. It's called Geek Therapy Radio with yours truly, Johnny Hamburger. And of course, it's available on almost every podcast app. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, Pocket Casts, etc. Of course, I'll include links below. And if you're in the Houston area, you can tune into Geek Therapy Radio on the weekends on KPRC 950 AM. But take care, everyone, and just remember, take care of yourselves and others. Always remember that we are all geeks about something.